What is up, guys? Welcome to Youth Night. It is Wednesday night. And so first things first, you might be wondering why in the world I'm wearing this. It is senior week. A lot of our seniors are graduating this week. And I thought, why not dig out the old cap and gown? Because what they don't tell you when they give it to you is you don't know what to do with it afterwards. You just keep it in a closet. But anyway, so if you know the seniors, if you are friends with them on Instagram, or send them a TikTok or a Snapchat, just congratulating them, because this is a really interesting time to graduate in general. Tell them congratulations, say good luck. There's a lot of stuff going on in their lives, so just be there for them in different ways. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of this because this is weird, and then so just wait a second, all right? All right, back to normal. Thank you, guys. So tonight we have got a small surprise for you. So if you join in on your small group tonight through Zoom, you have the chance to win a pizza, like a literal pizza that will be delivered to your house. And so make sure that you join in for small groups and be a part of that. It'll be a blast. So speaking of pizza, I have a question for you. A pretty controversial one, not gonna lie. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Comment below, let us know. I know some of you have very strong opinions about this. I have to tell you, I thought it was dumb for a very long time, but I tried some at Donato's just recently, and it was really good. So maybe if you hate it, just try it and then let me know what you think. Some of you have already tried it and you're like, nope, it's still stupid. And you're like, okay, that's fine. So I know we've played games like this before, like the this or that, cake or pie, Coke or Pepsi, and we all have strong opinions, and it's really fun to get into our groups where we all are yeah, we all love Coke, and we're gonna fight the Pepsi people. They're going down because Pepsi is stupid. And so it's fun to be in these groups and to gang up against the other team, to just be on your same side and to feel like there's a group of people all rallying behind you. And so that's always a blast. But I think sometimes we get into these groups and sometimes we don't just gang up on some of these silly ideas, but sometimes we gang up against other people. And we might not notice that we're doing it. But I know that it's happened to me in moments where I'll walk up to a group of friends and they're all talking about someone. And I know that you might not have started the situation, but it's really hard to step out of it. It's really hard to be the person that's oh no, we shouldn't do that, right? Sometimes it's just easier to join in. And sometimes we have these friendships that are just built on negative emotions and about judging people and about making people feel bad and kind of just tearing people down. So we have these friendships that aren't building anything up. And so I know it's easy to be in these groups and to gang up on someone. And you don't realize you're doing it, but you're just waiting for that other person to make a mistake or to fail in some way. And it gives you and this group something to talk about and to be a part of. And so tonight we're going to look at what it looks like to be a part and to rally behind someone rather than gang up against them, but to rally behind them. And so, because here's the deal, ganging up on people and being there just watching them fall and judging is not how God intended relationships to be. And so we are going to look tonight in a book of the Bible called Romans. And so it's written by a guy named Paul to a group of people who lived around Rome. Doesn't that make sense? Because it's called Romans. They're genius. All right. So anyway, we are going to look through Romans 5, 2 through 5. And it says this. It says, through whom we have gained access by faith into this grace in which we now stand. And we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also rejoice in our sufferings. Which is crazy because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not disappoint us because God has poured out his love into our hearts by the Holy Spirit whom he has given us. And so we are going to focus in mostly on verses 3 and 4 because Paul tells us to rejoice in our sufferings. And that sounds ridiculous, right? Who wants to rejoice in your sufferings? In those moments when you go through a bad breakup, you don't want someone to throw you a congratulatory party, right? Or in those times when you don't do well on a test, you don't want to post it online and people say, good job, you did so great. But here's what Paul says. He says that when you suffer in these moments, when life is hard, it causes you to persevere, to keep going. And in those moments, it causes you to build character. So it's like if you didn't make a team one year and you spend the whole next year practicing and you learning what hard work looks like, you become better in the process. And so we can say all of this, but in the end of the day, have you ever tried to rejoice in when life gets hard? Have you ever tried to rejoice in the moments when life is difficult? Because it isn't easy. But here is the main deal and why this is so important is because Paul did not write this letter to just one person. He didn't write it to a single person. It's not addressed, Dear Haley or Dear whoever. It is addressed to this whole group of Christians living around Rome. It's addressed to this whole group of people. So he's saying in this moment, when all of you or when one of you goes through something that causes you to suffer, you have this group of people that get to be around you. You have this group of people that you can all grow together with. And so his words were not written to a single person, but to a community of people. Because Paul assumed it would have been read in front of the entire church, and people would have been able to gather around each other. And so Paul reminds us in this that when life goes wrong, God gives us each other. When sufferings happen and when life looks difficult, we can glory in them, we can rejoice in them, because we know that we are not going through it all alone. And so that's one of the most important reasons as to why we have small groups on Wednesday nights, is because sometimes life looks difficult and going at it alone makes it look so much worse. And so your small group there is to gather around you, to pray with you, to go through the good parts of your day, the sad parts of your day, and just be able to talk through life together. And so here's the deal. Some people don't have these awesome small groups, don't have this chance to feel like they have a community around them. And so we're going to talk about what it looks like when other people are suffering. What does it look like when they are experiencing these pains? When someone is hurting or grieving or experiencing a big failure, what are they supposed to do? And how are we supposed to respond? And so here's the deal. I want to challenge us that in these moments to look for those people that might not have that community around them. Will we choose to ignore them? Will we pile on judgment or anger? Or will we gather around them in love? Will we give them the chance to see that hey, having a community around you that believes in God is life-changing. It makes all of the difference. Because remember, we were designed to do life together, to experience the happiest of moments together, but also to experience some of the saddest moments together. So look for ways this week that you can be there for people. Look for ways this week that you can rally behind someone who might not have a community yet. And look for ways that you can be their community. Because sometimes when life looks difficult, and when suffering is going on in your life, it can be so much worse when you're going at it alone. And just remind yourself that when life goes wrong, God gives us each other. So maybe be someone that someone can rely on for someone else today. We hope you have an awesome week. Join in with your small groups. Have so much fun with those. We will see you soon. Have fun. It's getting hot outside. It is summertime. We will see you guys later. Bye.